My name is Dan Cziczo, and I'm a professor and the department head of Earth, Atmospheric, and Planetary Sciences at Purdue University. Our weather is getting hotter for two different reasons. First, there's the natural seasonality, what we go through every year. So as the Earth's axis, which is tilted, points us more towards the sun, the weather is going to become warmer for that season, spring into summer into early fall. But at the same time, there's anthropogenic, a word that we use to mean human-caused changes going on. So climate change is anthropogenic, it's man-made. So as we add things like greenhouse gases, carbon dioxide, methane, and other greenhouse gases to our environment, one of the effects it has is that it traps some of that heat that's being formed at the planet's surface as sunlight comes in. It's a bit like having an extra blanket on top of it. So it doesn't make heat, but it traps that heat in place. So these two things combine, the natural part and the man-made part, to increase our climate, increase our temperature, even more than it would if it was only a natural cause. Our forest fire season is expanding. So because the climate is a bit warmer now than it was 10 years ago, 20 years ago, 50 years ago, we're starting to see forest fires occur earlier in the summer and extend later in the summer. We're also starting to see them in locations that didn't have burns before. So this year is one classic example of that, where we have Canadian forest fires in an area that didn't used to have forest fires, starting relatively early in spring, continuing through the summer, and they will probably continue through the fall. So one of the problems with forest fires is not only the increased temperature, lower humidity, it's also a land usage issue. So because a lot of our built area hasn't burned in 100 years, we haven't wanted to have forest fires to protect things like houses, people, and so on. We've actually built up a lot of burnable material. So then when it becomes hot enough, dry enough, and we trigger a fire, there's a lot more material there to be burned in a way that's not entirely natural. Sustained hot weather can have a large impact on weather and precipitation. So one thing that we can think about is a sustained heat wave, for example, can lead to poor air quality in a certain location. If that air is both hot and dry, it can actually lead to a decrease in precipitation. Things like storms may not form, or they may not be able to reach the surface of the planet with rain. You can lead to something called virga, where it starts to rain at a higher altitude and descends, but it evaporates at the same time. So we might feel a gentle cooling at the surface, but we don't actually see that rain. So these sustained heat waves can have a large impact in both of those areas.